the first rule of being Kurt Vonnegut's friend is to not ask him why he's looking so morose. I think if anybody ever did, that would be the end of the friendship. Because he did. He looked really morose sometimes. But most of the time, there was this kind of wonderfully mad twinkle in his eye. And he had some very, I can't quote them because they're pure Vonnegut, wonderful, brief, succinct comments on life, love, politics, man's stupidity, and his nobility. So he was a great observer, Kurt. He was a great observer, and he always he found it impossible not to write about those observations. So there was a kind of chain letters that he would send out, just commenting on stuff. Usually the stupidity of politicians, the easy way that old men love to go to war with young men fighting the wars. And he was very, as you know, he was passionate about that. Passionate about being anti-war. And at the same time, I think, was sensible enough to realize that you sometimes can't avoid it. His relationship with Indianapolis was, I guess, ambivalent is the word. Kurt had become a New Yorker, true blue, but he never, ever lost that connection. I think it was, to some extent, I wouldn't call it a love-hate relationship. It was a nostalgic and questioning relationship, but it had this affection and realization that you can never lose, you can never slough off your roots. And he didn't try to. I don't think he tried to at all. And I think he felt, in a certain way, really nostalgic about life there. And very proud of his family's roots there. Kurt was not a boaster at all. None of that braggadocio stuff about his writing, about his war record, about any of that stuff. But he was a booster. He was proud of his Indianapolis roots, very much. And I think kind of liked the idea of being himself maybe a bit of an act sometimes about being a hick from Indianapolis, in awe of all these giant brains and great talents and all that crap about New York. I think that having a library is exactly the kind of honor he would be really proud of. I really do. He was a great reader. He loved to read. He always was, grilling me about what I was reading. And I think, as I said, I think he regarded literature and the arts as the real conceivable salvation, that it makes us better people, that it makes us more civil. And he was always intrigued by ideas, intrigued by other people's ideas, maybe appalled by some of his other people's ideas as well. But very much, I guess you would say, a man of letters, certainly. Maybe certainly the most important man of letters that I've ever had any kind of contact with. He really believed that the arts could change us, make us better. Whether it was the literary arts, music, and certainly the visual arts. I missed a phone call. Kurt was, his phone calls were something. He'd call me after 60 minutes off, and, so 7:10 on Sunday, 8:10 on Sunday night. And he would, phone would ring, I'd pick it up. He'd say, "It's Kurt. It was terrific." He'd hang up. I'd call back. He said, "What do you want?" I wanted to hear more. Come on. He said, "That's all I have to say." He could be really taciturn in that way. It wasn't an act. He just was, all he wanted to do was say what he wanted to say and get the hell off that line. So he did that a lot. It was really funny when he did it, because he sounded angry. He would sound angry. Of course he wasn't angry. He just didn't want to have a long, boring conversation with me. And, and he was just about the most decent man I've ever known. And a remarkably talented artist in all his art.